What is it going to take for West Virginia to get another road upset in Big 12 play against Arizona State? We're going to give you 4 keys to victory for the Mountaineers in this episode of Mountaineer Moment. This is the Mountaineer Moment, your source for all things West Virginia football and basketball. From pregame to postgame coverage and breaking news, we've got you covered. Let's go. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Mountaineer Moment, your source for all things West Virginia football and basketball. And on this episode, again, we're going to give you 4 keys to victory. If the Mountaineers are going to pull off another upset on the road in Big 12 play, they beat Houston as a double-digit underdog, and then they came home and beat Colorado, not an underdog in that game, but they won the game. They're on a winning streak, 2 in a row. What's it going to take for them to make it 3 in a row? They're a double-digit underdog on the road at Arizona State, and I got 4 things. If they do these 4 things, they're going to be coming back to Morgantown with a win, and they're going to be playing next week against Texas Tech for a chance at bowl eligibility. You can bet the Milan Puskar Stadium is going to be rocking for that. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But I'm going to give you 4 keys on this episode. But if you are new to Mountaineer Moment and you are not yet subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. So hit that subscribe button, toss a like, leave a comment. I'm kind of sort of joking, but not really. I really do want you to subscribe to what we're doing here. Join this growing community. This is episode number 86, and this is a show that just started not even 3 months ago. So you do the math. We're pumping out almost an episode a day here on Mountaineer Moment. We've been just covering, since the beginning of this football season and basketball season. We do that too. We're in full swing here during this overlap season, basketball and football. It's busy, and we're doing our best to keep you in the know on all that you need to know. Pre-game, post-game coverage, breaking news, all of that. We mean it, and we're doing our best. So in this episode, again, number 86, I got 4 things. The Mountaineers do these 4 things, they're going to be leaving Arizona State with a win, and coming back to Morgantown pretty fired up about a little 3-game win streak that they got with Rich Rodriguez and true freshman quarterback Scotty Fox Jr. at the helm. The first key to me is pretty simple. You got to force Arizona State quarterback Jeff Sims to beat you through the air. And I bet you Iowa State Cyclone fans are wishing that they did that, because Jeff Sims set a school record running all over Iowa State in their last game, Arizona State's last game. 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, 29 carries for Jeff Sims. Obviously, we know the story. Arizona State star quarterback Sam Leavitt out for the remainder of the season after undergoing surgery on his injured foot. And then Jeff Sims, who began his collegiate career, we've talked about it in every episode here, throughout this week. He began his collegiate career at Georgia Tech in 2020. He's still around, and now he's at Arizona State. And there's no doubt about it. The most dangerous thing he presents to opposing defenses isn't his arm, it's his legs. He proved that in a record-breaking performance against Iowa State on the road. That's his most dangerous trait. I mean, that's a video game-like performance out of Jeff Sims in their most recent game, and a win in his first start, this season. Now, on the flip side of that, what West Virginia needs to do, well, you can't let Jeff Sims run for 200 bucks, 200 bills on you. Can't let him do it. West Virginia has faced several dual-threat quarterbacks. We've talked about it already this week. And none of those guys have gone for over 100 yards. None of those guys have gone for over 100 yards. Now, it's so important, because to me, obviously, that game against Iowa State, they won that game because of what that kid did with his legs. Make no mistake about it. That's why they won the game. If you commit, if you're defensive coordinator Zach Alley for West Virginia, and you commit to just saying, "Well, you know what? We're not going to let that happen. we're going to sell out to stop the run. We're going to put, so many guys in the box, and we're going to say, you know what, Jeff Sims, you and your legs are not going to win this game. And you open yourself up to say, okay, come beat us with your arm. Come beat us with your arm. And I think if I'm Zach Alley, that's the route I'm going to go. That's the route I'm going to go. But I'm not Zach Alley, so we'll see what he does. But I just know you can't give up 200 yards to a quarterback on the ground. You don't want to give up 150 yards. You don't want to give up 100 yards. If you limit what he does on the ground, you're going to be in better shape than you would if you don't. Just saying. Captain Obvious? Yeah, that's pretty obvious. But, well, let me just, in his career, Jeff Sims, he has 33 touchdown passes, and he's got 30 interceptions. 30 interceptions. He's susceptible to be picked off. And you don't throw an interception if you run the football. He had 29 carries last week, or their last game, before their bye. You gotta do as much as you possibly can to make Sims one-dimensional and make him beat you with his arm. And if he does, tip your cap to him. Moving on. Force Jeff Sims to pass. Second one is you need to take some pressure off of Scotty Fox Jr. And while you would automatically think, if you follow West Virginia football, you would automatically think the pressure I'm referring to is talking about the performance of the West Virginia offensive line that has struggled often throughout this season. But that's not exactly where I'm going with this one. Although that's obviously important, and they've shown some strides, they've shown some improvements, obviously, because West Virginia's won the last 2 games. If you lay an egg out there as an offensive line, you're not going to win games, period. And they've played well enough for West Virginia to win. But over the course of the last 2 weeks, which have been both West Virginia wins, you've seen skill position players that have stepped up within the offense. Dior Hubbard isn't getting talked about enough, this redshirt freshman running back, for his performance against Houston. 29 carries, 108 yards, touchdown. He followed that up at home in Morgantown. He was the team's leading receiver. He had 158 total yards. He caught a beautiful wheel route from Scotty Fox for 69 yards. And you just, the point there is that someone else has stepped up. Dior Hubbard led the team last week in rushing yards and receiving yards. 16 carries, 64 yards, 94 yards through the air on 6 catches. Led the team in, Scotty Fox had 17 carries. Dior Hubbard had 16, so he didn't lead in the carry department, but he led in rushing yards, he led in receiving yards, he led in receptions. Redshirt freshman running back. Pretty solid day against Colorado. And you won the game by 7. You needed Dior Hubbard. You needed him to step up into that role. You couldn't just put it all on Scotty Fox's shoulders. And that's the point of this key to victory. Take some pressure off of Scotty Fox. These other skill position guys. Take some pressure off of him on the road. Don't make him have to do it all himself through the air and on the ground. Help him out. Help him out. If Scotty Fox is going down there and you're, getting not a whole lot of production from other players and dropping passes or coughing the ball up or just not hitting the right hole, not helping your quarterback out, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Scotty Fox against a team that likes to get after the quarterback. They got 24 sacks this season to Arizona State. All right? So that's a big one. Take some pressure off Scotty Fox. Again, back to that Houston game, even at receiver, Jeff Weimer got involved, caught a really deep pass, that he hauled in. That was right on the money from Scotty Fox. Rodney Gallagher played well in that one against Houston. Together, they had 8 catches in that game and 120 yards. You like that. It's not asking for anything, earth-shattering numbers, but when you got that and you got what you got out of Dior Hubbard, you were able to go on the road and beat Houston team that had 1 loss to that point. And you were a double-digit underdog. You're a double-digit underdog this time on the road. You just have to have someone else step up. Will it be Hubbard again? Will it be Weimer again? Will it be Rodney Gallagher? Will Cam Vaughn explode this week? We don't know. But if you want to win, it's got to be someone or a couple someones that are going to help you out here. So take some pressure off Scotty Fox. That's key to victory number 2. Number 3, which feeds off of that first one relating to Jeff Sims. But I think it is absolutely essential that you put Arizona State and their offense in third and long situations. All right, again, Jeff Sims, to put it politely, his passing numbers throughout his career are very underwhelming, to put it nicely. 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. And if you get them behind the chains, if you force them into third down situations that are 3rd and 8 plus passing situations, then that could bode well for this West Virginia defense getting off the field. Obviously, 3rd and long situations give you a better chance to do that. And again, I think, and we've talked about it this week, I think West Virginia should just, all right, Jeff Sims, career day in their last game against Iowa State. And they got to win on the road. Now they're coming home off a bye week. They're probably going to look to run the football. I think if you're West Virginia, you got to sell out against the run. And again, similar to that first point, you got to look for Sims to beat you with his arm broadly, right? That's kind of the point of number one, right? You got to make Jeff Sims beat you through the air broadly. Number 3 here, again, this takeaway here is, or key to victory, is that you do that. You fulfill number 1 by doing number 3, right? You fulfill this first point of forcing Sims to beat you through the air by putting him in 3rd and long situations. Right? If Arizona State wants to come out and run the ball early and often on early downs, then you got to sell out against the run and force Sims to beat you with his arm on 3rd down. You do that, get him in 3rd and long situations, I like our chances. Fourthly, and to me, it's a cliche one, forced turnovers. All right, cool, forced turnovers. Well, what I'm going to say is like a double-digit underdog on the road, your 2 best friends are interceptions and fumble recoveries. Your 2 best friends are turnovers. A road underdog a couple weeks ago, West Virginia, Houston. Houston turned the ball over 4 times, and West Virginia won the game by 10 points. You think they'd like to have that ball back a few times? Right? Simply put, if you're going to win this game, if you want to win as a road underdog, a double-digit underdog at that, you have to win the turnover battle, and you might have to win it by 2 or more. Okay? You have to force turnovers. You have to create chaos defensively and rush, force a quarterback who has 30 career interceptions, by the way, to make it 31, right? Make him throw another one or 2. West Virginia had against Colorado, a beautiful, Peanut Tillman kind of, punch the ball out of a Colorado receiver. Like, make a play like that. It just makes a difference. It goes a long way. As a road underdog, you have to force turnovers. You got to win that turnover battle and capitalize on those turnovers and convert them into points. So that's it. If West Virginia can force Jeff Sims to quote-unquote beat you through the air, if you can take away his legs as much as you can for a guy that just ran for 228 yards, I get it. But if you can limit what he does on the ground, if you can take some pressure off of Scotty Fox offensively by having other guys just step up and have a really solid game. I'm not talking about, stepping up or leaving pressure on Scotty Fox by, Rodney Gallagher having 3 catches for 17 yards and Cam Vaughn 2 for 23 yards and Dior Hubbard 6 carries for 16 yards and Sear Bowers 8 carries for 18 yards. Like, we're not talking about that. That's not helping out your quarterback. I'm talking about Dior Hubbard having 25 carries for 117 yards. Right? I'm talking about Cam Vaughn hauling in 9 passes for 104 yards. Right? Like, I'm talking really next level production that you're going to need, and if you're going to win this game, you're just going to need it. You're going to need someone to go off. Not that Arizona State's unbeatable, right? That statement makes them sound like they're Texas Tech. They're not, but you need someone to have a big game here. Thirdly, which closely aligns with number 1, is if you can put Arizona State in 3rd and long situations where they're forced to throw, that's when those mistakes might come, which leads to number 4. If they're in third and long situations, maybe you can force a turnover. Maybe you can force an interception from Jeff Sims. You're a double-digit road underdog. You got to create turnovers. You got to wreak havoc, and you got to make plays defensively and capitalize on those opportunities. Turnover-worthy plays. If you get them, grab them, and get the ball back for your offense. Let Scotty Fox and his squad go to work. All right? So this is, again, Mountaineer Moment episode number 86, talking about what West Virginia needs to do in order to get another victory on the road against a team where they are a double-digit underdog against Arizona State. 4 keys to victory. We'll see you next time on Mountaineer Moment. We'll be breaking down all sorts of stuff. Basketball, football, backyard brawl is almost here. And yeah, we're going to be talking about it all. So backyard brawl, we're going to get back here for Arizona State recap and keep on chugging along at this thing. I hope you'll join us here on Mountaineer Moment. Join the movement, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.